Have you ever felt it? That ache in your soul, like you're running on empty, chasing peace but finding only noise? You pray, you try, but something's missing, something big. What if I told you the secret to unlocking God's voice, to breaking through the fog of this world, isn't locked in a church pew or a theology book? It's closer than you think, and it's been hiding in plain sight all along. Welcome to Blessed Horizons. I'm here to share a truth so powerful it'll shake your spirit awake. Fasting isn't just sacrifice, it's your spiritual superpower. Stick with me, because what you're about to hear could change how you walk with God forever. Now, real quick, most of you watching aren't subscribed yet, and I get it, you're just browsing. But here's the thing, this channel is your guide to truths most people miss. Hit that subscribe button so you don't lose this journey. Trust me, you'll want to hear what's coming next. Picture this, an ordinary morning, the kind where the world feels heavy before you even step out of bed. It was a chilly Tuesday, the sky outside my window dull and grey, like it was holding its breath. My alarm buzzed at 6:15 a.m., and I lay there, staring at the ceiling, feeling stuck, not just tired. Something deeper, like my spirit was wading through mud. I wasn't praying that day, wasn't seeking some grand revelation. I was just me, Sarah, a part-time librarian with a messy bun and a heart full of questions I didn't know how to ask. But God, He was already moving, whispering something I couldn't yet hear. That morning I shuffled to the kitchen, my old dog trailing behind, his paws clicking softly on the floor. I poured my coffee, but when I lifted the mug, it was strange. It had no smell, no warmth in my hands. I laughed it off, thinking, maybe I'm just out of it today. But deep down, I felt a nudge, a quiet pull, like a voice saying, pay attention, Sarah, something's about to shift. Have you ever had a moment like that? Where life feels normal, but your soul knows something's coming? That's where I was, standing on the edge of a story I didn't know I'd been chosen to tell. That same morning I got ready for work, pulling on a faded green scarf and my usual sneakers, thinking I'd just push through the strange heaviness. I was headed to the library, where I spent my days shelving books and helping kids with their homework. Nothing epic, just life. But as I drove down Maple Street, the world felt off. The radio was on, but the songs sounded hollow, like they were coming from far away. I glanced at my phone to check the time, 7:42 a.m., and that's when it happened. A delivery truck veered out of nowhere, tires screeching, cutting across my lane. My breath caught. Time didn't slow down like in the movies, it just stopped. I remember gripping the steering wheel, my knuckles white, and then nothing. No crash, no pain, just a sudden, endless quiet. It was like someone flipped a switch and the world blinked out. I thought, this can't be it, can it? My heart didn't race. It just paused like it knew something I didn't. In that moment, I wasn't scared, but I was awake, more awake than I'd ever been. You ever wonder what it's like when life strips away every distraction? I was about to find out, and it wasn't what I expected. Before that moment on the road, something had been stirring in me for days. It started small, like a pebble in my shoe I couldn't shake. A single word kept echoing in my mind. Fast. No explanation, no neon sign from heaven, just that word, soft but stubborn. At first, I brushed it off. Fasting? Me? I'm not some super spiritual saint, I thought, chuckling to myself. I liked my snacks too much. But the nudge didn't quit. Sunday night I sat down to dinner, spaghetti my favorite, but my fork just hovered over the plate. My stomach growled, but my spirit said, not now. I whispered, okay, God, is this you? No answer, just a quiet that felt alive. By Monday I gave. In water only, no food. My head throbbed a bit, but something else was happening. I felt lighter, not just in my body, but in my soul. I started noticing things I'd ignored, the way my neighbor's tired eyes lit up when I waved, how a random Bible verse, Romans 8:26, about the Spirit praying for us, popped into my head and made me tear up. I jotted in my journal, why does this feel like I'm being tuned, like a radio? That's what fasting did. It wasn't about starving, it was about hearing. Ever feel like God's trying to get your attention, but life's too loud? That's where I was, and the dial was starting to turn. Monday night I had a dream, or maybe it wasn't a dream. A figure stood in a glow so warm it felt like summer. No face, just presence, and a voice that said, "Empty yourself to hear me." I woke up with my cheeks wet, my heart pounding. I scribbled in my journal, fasting isn't about food, it's about space. By Tuesday, that space was growing. I'd sit in my living room. No phone, no TV, just me and the quiet. I'd pray, but not fancy prayers, more like, God, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here. Psalm 46:10 came to mind. Be still and know that I am God. I felt a tremble, not of fear, but of something big waiting just out of sight. You know what's funny? I was scared to keep going. Fasting made me feel exposed, like I was standing in front of God with no mask. But that's the point, isn't it? To strip away the noise so you can hear the whisper. Try this. Next time you're stressed, skip a meal, grab a glass of water, and just sit with God for 10 minutes. Read Matthew 6:16-18, where Jesus talks about fasting in secret. It's not about showing off, it's about showing up. That's what I was learning, and it was preparing me for something I couldn't imagine, back to that moment on the road. After the truck, after the silence, I wasn't in my car anymore. I was somewhere else. I stood in my kitchen again, but it wasn't right. The light was too bright. The colors too vivid, like a painting come to life. I looked down and saw my coffee mug on the counter, but when I reached for it, my hand passed through. My heart, or whatever I had left, skipped. Then I saw it. My body, slumped on the floor, still as stone. No, this isn't happening, I whispered, but my voice didn't echo. The room blurred, stretching into a mist that wasn't cold or warm, just aware. I felt like I was floating, not up or down, but through. The air hummed, like it was alive, carrying me somewhere I didn't choose, but didn't fight. A voice, not loud, not soft, just clear, said, "Rest, Sarah. You're not lost." And I knew. I wasn't dreaming. I wasn't alive, not the way I'd been, but I wasn't gone either. I was in between, and something holy was about to unfold. Ever wonder what's on the other side of what you know? I was standing there, and it was more real than anything I'd left behind. In that in-between, I wasn't scared, not like you'd think. I felt free, like every worry I'd carried, bills, regrets, what people thought of me, had melted away. I saw flashes of my life, me as a kid laughing in the grass, me crying over a fight with my sister, me praying alone in college. But they weren't just memories. They were alive, glowing, showing me who I'd always been to God. Then I saw threads, like ribbons of light weaving through it all. They pulsed brighter when I remembered fasting, those 2 days of water, that dream, those quiet prayers. That's when I heard him. Not a shout, not a whisper, but a voice that filled every part of me. "Sarah," he said, and my soul turned toward it like a flower to the sun. It was Jesus, not a figure in a painting, but a presence so real I could feel his love like a heartbeat. "I've been waiting to show you this," he said. My tears weren't tears anymore, they were worship. You ever feel like God's closer than you dare believe? That's where I was, and he was about to show me why fasting matters more than I'd ever dreamed. The space around me shifted like a curtain pulling back. I wasn't in a place anymore, I was in a truth. The air sparkled with patterns, circles, waves, colors I can't name, reds that felt like mercy, blues that sang hope. Jesus stood with me, his robe shimmering like liquid light. He didn't look like the Sunday school pictures. He was everything: home, fire, peace. When he looked at me, I didn't feel small. I felt seen. "Sarah," he said, "fasting isn't hunger, it's an opening." He waved his hand, and I saw it, a tapestry of light, threads glowing, some bright, some dim. "These are fasts," he said, I saw one thread shine, a woman fasting for her sick child. Her prayers rippled out and I watched an angel move, guarding that child's hospital bed. Another thread flickered, a man fasting to impress his church. Jesus sighed. The heart matters, he said. Fasting aligns you with heaven, but only if it's for me. Think about it. When you fast, not for likes or miracles, but to know God, it's like tuning a radio to his frequency. Try fasting one meal this week, praying Luke 5:35, where Jesus talks about fasting for him. Watch what happens when you make room. Then Jesus showed me something that broke my heart open. The tapestry zoomed out, and I saw the spirit realm, vibrant, loud, alive. Angels moved like lightning, carrying out orders. Dark shadows slunk around, hissing lies. Then a man began to fast, praying, "Jesus, I need you." The shadows screamed and fled like light had burned them. Angels stepped closer, shielding him. Jesus said, "Fasting isn't just prayer, it's war." I saw a church fasting together, and the ground glowed beneath them. Healing sparked, eyes opened. "When you fast," he said, "you push back what steals my people. You can do this too. Next time you're angry or lost, try a one-day fast. Read Ephesians 6:12 about spiritual battles and pray for clarity. It's not about starving, it's about fighting smarter." I stood there, awestruck, realizing fasting wasn't a rule, it was a weapon. And Jesus had more to show me, something that would change how I saw time itself. The scene changed again. Now I saw time, not a line, but a river, flowing all at once. Jesus pointed to a thread from a woman fasting in 1985 for her family. That thread stretched forward, touching her grandson in 2023, stopping him from a car wreck he never knew was coming. "Fasting bends time," Jesus said. I gasped. I saw a teenager fasting in 2001, praying for peace. Her fast wove a shield that saved her cousin from despair years later. "Time isn't fixed," he said. "It's mine, and fasting lets you touch it." This hit me hard. Imagine fasting for your kids, your friends, even strangers, knowing it could ripple into their future. Try this. Fast one meal, pray Psalm 90:12 for wisdom, and ask God to bless someone you love. Your sacrifice could be their miracle decades from now. I was weeping, seeing how one small fast could echo forever. But Jesus wasn't done. He wanted me to see where it all began. We stood in a place that hummed with life, a vast hall, not of stone but of light, like stained glass that breathed. Scrolls lined the walls, glowing, singing softly. Angels moved among them, their faces bright with purpose. Jesus said, "These are the sacrifices." I saw one scroll with my name, Sarah M. Tate. My breath caught. It listed moments I'd forgotten, skipping lunch to pray for a co-worker, staying silent to hear God, giving up sweets to seek him. Nothing's lost. Jesus said, "Every fast is a note in heaven's song." You're part of this too. Every time you choose God over comfort, it's recorded. Try writing down one small fast you do this month. Maybe skip coffee and pray for a neighbor. Read Hebrews 6:10. God doesn't forget. I stood there overwhelmed, knowing my tiny steps mattered, but Jesus had one more truth to burn into my soul. We walked through a field, not grass but flames, each one a person's hunger for God. Some roared, some flickered. Jesus pointed to a bright flame. "This is a girl fasting for her school." I saw angels move, bringing revival to her classmates. Then he showed a dim flame, a man who quit fasting, thinking he'd failed. Jesus breathed on it, and it sparked again. "I don't need perfection," he said. "I need heart." That's when I realized fasting isn't about rules. It's about love. You can start small. Skip one meal, pray John 4:34, where Jesus says his food is God's will. Ask for hunger for him. If you stumble, don't quit. God meets you where you are. I felt such hope, but Jesus' eyes grew serious. He was about to show me why this matters now more than ever. The air grew heavy. Jesus' voice deepened. "My church has traded depth for ease," he said. I saw images, Believers distracted by phones, worship half-hearted, fasting swapped for feasts. Then a darker vision, a storm rising, spiritual battles brewing. Fasting isn't optional, he said. It's your anchor. I saw people fasting, their spirits glowing, standing firm against chaos. It sharpens you, he said. It opens your eyes. This is urgent. Try a 24-hour fast, praying 2 Chronicles 7:14 for revival. Ask God to wake your spirit. The world's loud, but fasting quiets it. I trembled, knowing I had to share this, but Jesus had one final gift to give me before I returned. His gaze softened, but his words carried weight. You must go back, he said. My soul ached. I didn't want to leave him. Why me? I asked. He smiled. Because you listened. Handed me something, a spark, light as a feather, heavy as a promise. This is your call, he said. Tell them fasting is a door. Tell them I'm waiting. I felt time pull me like a tide. How do I say this? I cried. He leaned close. Just tell the truth. They'll feel me in it. As I fell back, through light, through silence, I heard him say, I honor the heart that hungers for me. That promise burned in me, and it's why I'm here, sharing this with you. But what happened next? That's where it gets real. Cold hit me like a slap. My body jolted, lungs gasping, pain sparking through me. She's back, someone yelled. Beeps, voices, hospital smells. I was alive. My eyes fluttered, and in the corner I saw a glow, not a nurse, an angel, watching quietly. Doctors later said I was gone for 5 minutes, no heartbeat, no reason I should be here, but I knew why. I wasn't just saved, I was sent. That night, alone in my hospital bed, I whispered, You meant it, didn't you? A warmth settled over. Me, not a voice, just him. Since then, I don't fast for answers. I fast to remember. You can too. Start with one meal, pray Matthew 17:21, where Jesus says some things only move with prayer and fasting. It's not about rules, it's about him. And now I'm passing this to you because someone out there needs it. So here we are. Fasting isn't just a discipline, it's a doorway to God's heart. I died, and what Jesus showed me flipped my life upside down. Now it's your turn. What's stopping you from trying it? Drop a comment below. Have you ever fasted, or what's holding you back? Your story could spark someone else's faith. If this moved you, hit subscribe and tap that bell. You don't want to miss what's next. Check out our video on prayer that's popping up now. It'll take you even deeper. Thanks for being here, friends. I'll see you soon.